Hi, I'm Paul James, the gardener guy for Southwood TV, and today, the basics of pruning. Now first you got to ask yourself, why do I even want to bother pruning? That's a good question actually, because I think a lot of people prune way more than they need to. It's not something you necessarily have to do every year. But the basics are fairly straightforward. You want to get rid of dead, damaged, and diseased wood. The 3 Ds. So if you see an obvious place where a branch is dead or diseased, go ahead and get rid of it. Another important thing to keep in mind is crossing branches. If you see branches that are crossing one another, you want to get rid of it, because the branches, if they rub together, they can wind up creating a scar, an open wound really, and that's an invitation for pest and disease issues. So when you see crossing branches, get rid of those. Now, hand pruners, you'll need those. Up to, say, about a 1-inch branch, maybe a little less. Over that, get some loppers. And if it's even bigger than that, you're gonna need a pruning saw of some kind, either a bow saw or one like this. If it's bigger than a couple of inches or more, you might wanna consider hiring a professional. If you need to bring out the chainsaw to do the work, again, think about getting a pro to come in there and do it, because you can actually put yourself at risk. When you prune, you can do heading cuts where you reduce the overall size of the plant. So you just come back to a couple of buds. There's a couple of buds right there. Boom, and you make a pruning cut. If you want to take the plant, the branch all the way back to the base, then what you want to make sure you do is leave a branch collar. A branch collar is just a little 1/4 inch, maybe even a 1/2 inch extension from the trunk. In other words, you don't want to cut flush to the trunk. So here's a branch that's not only crossing, but it's one that's got a real weird growth pattern. So I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to cut, and again, just leave a little bit still attached to the trunk. Then you can go in and open up the tree or shrub if you want to let more light get inside. So you just go in and you prune the interior. And you really want to focus on any branches that are growing into the plant. You don't really want those. You want the branches to grow out, not in. So you can just go in and selectively prune out any of those that are turning back in. I'm going to get rid of that one too. And I see a damaged and crossing. And those are the basics of pruning. When to prune, that's my next video. So until then, can't really think how to get out of this segment, so I'll just say cut.